Next, we go to London in the United Kingdom, where a boycott against consuming Russian vodka, called for by Dan Savage, the U.S. gay rights activist, has now grown into a movement that has gay bars all around the world dumping Russian vodka to show their displeasure with the country's treatment of gay people. The boycott comes in the wake of an increasingly aggressive crackdown on gay rights in Russia, including a controversial law signed last month by President Putin that prohibits minors to even be told about homosexuality. The hope is that gay bars boycotting vodka will result in enough economic pressure to change Russia's course. But Nikolai Alexeyev, a prominent Russian LGBT activist, counts himself among the skeptics. You see right here, he says, "To be honest, I don't see the point in boycotting the Russian vodka. And what is the aim of this boycott? The producers, even if they become bankrupt because of the boycott, which is unlikely, will not be able to influence Russian politics and President Putin, as well as the decisions of the State Duma." Now, according to boycotters, the point is to shed light on Russia's aggressively anti-gay measures, as we stated. Joining us over the phone is co-founder and owner of the GAY group in the UK, Jeremy Joseph. Jeremy, thanks for joining us. I'm curious if you think that banning Russian vodka, especially those brands, will really make a difference at all.
Well, it is going to make a difference because we're talking about it now. The fact that us talking about it means that we're highlighting what's going on in Russia at the moment. If we weren't doing it, how many people would know what's going on?
Well, that's a good way of putting it. What do you make of that quote I read from Alexei? I mean, he's suggesting that this isn't going to happen.
I agree. I kind of agree with him, but I'm not doing it for economic reasons. I think he's right. It's not going to help economically, but what it is doing is highlighting what's going on. And the other thing for me, it's about showing solidarity with the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community in Russia. So it's for us, it's more something to be pointing against what's going on. And also, you know, to bring this to the public eye, you know, it's exactly 1 year ago that we had the London Olympics, and there's that whole Olympic spirit of Olympic message. And, you know, next year, the Winter Olympics is going to be in Moscow. And unless we highlight what's going on there, then people need to realise that true spirit of the Olympics doesn't exist unless we take that action.
Certainly, and you know, when you talk about taking actions, this is not an isolated action. There are those who have been protesting around the world, but even in Russia, against not just this law that we stated, but other laws, other recent measures that the Russian government has taken. Do you think that there's going to be a broader movement, a coalition, where it's not just you know, barring or you know, boycotting Russian vodka, but other measures that might connect those who want to challenge this decision on the Russian government's part?
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that what's going to be seen is the sponsors of the Winter Olympics may sit up. I mean, you look at brands like Coca-Cola, who, you know, they're sponsoring it. Hopefully they're going to sit up and take notice. It's all about raising the profile and getting other people to get on board and help a community that is taking steps backwards in human rights. You know, I mean, you know, there are obviously other countries where it's illegal to be gay, but, you know, with Russia, they're changing the law. So whereas other countries are moving forward, Russia's taking steps back.
Certainly. I want to share just with you a couple of these images. These are some of the ones circulating online. It says here, we serve a range of non-Russian vodka, dump Russian vodka, directly kind of appealing to the anti-Putin movement. This is another one. We probably do not serve Russian vodka, stop Russian persecution of queers and allies. All of these, this one from Stolichnaya, premium vodka stands strong and proud with the global LGBT community against the attitude and actions of the Russian government. Now, you know, I'm not sure necessarily how official this is, if it's actually a galvanized movement, but is there anything that you could share with us about how this is being coordinated?
Well, it is. To me, it's not kind of being coordinated. I think people are like, I didn't do it because somebody rang me and said, you need to do it, or can you be involved in this group? I was seeing on Facebook and Twitter images of what's going on in Russia, and you know, and I'd already read that other venues out of the UK were doing it, and I just thought it was something we had to do. You just can't sit there and watch what's going on. And by doing this, we as I said, you know, across Facebook and Twitter, everybody's talking about it. And that's why we've done it, to get people talking about it, to get people to understand. I mean, you know, in the UK, we've just, you know, got a step closer to gay marriage. Mm-hmm. And we're moving forward and closer to equality. And, you know, sometimes we take things like this for granted. And I think when there's another country out there, you have to do something just to try and make a difference. Whether you will or you won't, it's not what it's about. It's about trying to.
Certainly, and you're right to point out that this is where people are learning about this story. That's certainly where we learned about this story, for as much as it makes the wires. These kinds of images, this is from a livejournal.com user, Ilya Varakomov, showing young, what she calls thugs, attacking a young gay Russian. This is him. These are images, of course, from the .ru photo agency. We can include these in our resource wall, but these images certainly powerful and can galvanize a movement. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us.